Hey guys, I'm Rachel Castile and welcome to Typology Corner. Today I'm doing an overview video on the Enneagram Type 6. They are called the Loyalist, also the Loyal Guardian. So yeah, this type is very much about community, sticking together, having a sense of like the family unit or whatever group that they're in. Yeah, that's a core thing for them. Very loyal friends, loyal to um, whoever they trust, whoever is kind of in their circle. But yeah, so this type, they are in the head triad, the thinking triad, and essentially they have a core emotional struggle with fear, anxiety, fear and anxiety. Um, and yeah, so this kind of causes them to, or how they manage this emotion, they are looking to the future, they're preparing for worst case scenarios and kind of working proactively in their mind to prevent things that could be detrimental if it's to them or to the people that they love. Uh, so yeah, this anxiety, how they manage it is um, moving away from those negative things. Kind of, I don't know how to word that. Yeah, they're like scanning the horizon to see what could go wrong and then avoiding those things in a sense. Um, so yeah, starting out, I'm going to go through the core motivations. I'll be covering the subtypes as well, the wings, the levels of health, of kind of how a six can show up in all different states, the different colors of type six. Um, so, starting out, the core fear of type 6 is fearing fear itself, being without support, security, or guidance. They fear being blamed, targeted, alone, or being physically abandoned. And their core desire is to have security, to have guidance and support, to have that clarity of what to do. They struggle to feel that they can trust their own inner voice to make decisions, to know what the right thing is to do. Um, but yeah, they're looking for that guidance, they're looking for security, and they're looking for support. Their core weakness is anxiety itself. So types 5, 6, and 7 all struggle with fear. But the actual vice of type 6 is fear itself. So, what that looks like is scanning the horizon of life and trying to predict and prevent negative outcomes, especially worst case scenarios, remaining in a constant state of apprehension and worry. Yeah. So, this can be just a fixation of mind to always be seeing what could go wrong, and it can kind of steal their peace. Maybe to a six, it's kind of normal. It's a state that their mind is always in. Um, Depending on the level of health. But yeah, there's just a general apprehension, and that is a state of worry to live that way. So that's a struggle of type 6. It comes very naturally to them to find themselves in this sort of headspace or emotional state. And then the core longing is the message that their heart is really longing to hear that would set them free from living from a place of not feeling secure. And it's a simple message of you are safe and secure. So when type sixes really believe this at their core, when they actually know that they are safe and that they are secure, it allows them to rest and not be overtaken by worry anymore. And yeah, that they just flourish all the more in communities and yeah, and the gifts that they bring, as we'll continue to talk about. So, yeah, that is the core truth that sets type sixes free. Um, let's see what else. Their super ego message. This is what they believe in the state of being a type six. This is kind of makes sense to them. You are good and okay if you do what is expected of you. And I'll kind of break down how that shows up, but I'll continue on. They are dependent on the group around them heavily. So yeah, what is expected of them kind of is something they're very aware of being in community. So Um, yeah, so the weakness is doubt and fear, and just more kind of explanation of that. The addiction to fear is propelled by the belief that it will keep the six from being alone or without support. To feel safe and relaxed would be too dangerous. The core fear is fear itself. It feels risky to them. Um, so yeah, the ego fixation is cowardice. Physical feeling of fear leading to rigidity and paralysis, bracing the self against opposition and uncertainty. Um, so yeah, I want to explore the child a bit. So the child believed that it's not okay to trust yourself. That's the message they got. Um, that could have shown up in all different kind of ways. It's not so much that someone said that to them. It could have been, but yeah, that what I'm kind of thinking about is I could see that emerging from like a parent telling them that like their decisions aren't right, or like, hey, you can't trust your own voice, things like that. Like, you needed to do what we've said that you need to do. You thought that you could choose this path in life. No, that's wrong. Like, what are you thinking? Like, in a sense of causing them to doubt their ability to, I guess, to trust the inner voice, but that their inner voice could actually guide them in the right direction. So there's a self doubt that type sixes got at a very young age that caused them to adhere to outside systems, to find support and guidance and assurance of direction by looking to a parental figure. It could be a religious community, some societal belief system. So yeah, type sixes find themselves getting rooted in a community and some type of ideology, and they, find comfort, or I guess security. It's about security, guidance, feeling uh, safe. It's a place of safety. I'm safe in this community. I'm safe in this, say, church system. I'm safe in this company that I work for. Or yeah, it can give them that sense of security, that kind of sorry y'all, silencing the fear that they feel, the worry. It's like, I don't have to worry. I'm in alignment with these external things. We're good. I'm loyal to this. And that gives me a sense of security in life. That's what they learned at a young age. So sadly, believing that it's not okay to trust yourself, that sticks with them for most of their life. And that's not a great place to live from. It can keep you kind of codependent or afraid to walk your own path. Yeah, this is something I am really grateful to be learning more about, because I'm not a six, but like it's super helpful understanding this place in my life. From what I can see, I do have sixes around me, close in my life, and yeah, I have compassion for this. But yeah, so when we're looking at health kind of deteriorating into more of a negative place, their core desire to be secure deteriorates into an attachment to beliefs. So being secure, wanting to be secure is a good thing. But when in the grip of the coping strategy of this, there's a fear of change. There's a fear of standing on your own that causes this cowardice. Ego fixation, I mentioned it earlier, but the way that's been described, it is a fixation of mind. The fear, or more so the emotional struggle that they're dealing with, is just a part of kind of who they are. It's their void in life. But cowardice is an actual mental, like, my mind is busy in this area. Bracing against opposition and uncertainty. That's something that really grabs their attention all of the time. And it's kind of like their duty to search those things out when living in this sort of place. Sixes, they try to see all sides of something. They are anxious about the negative possibilities, forecasting, worrying. Yeah, they need guidance to make decisions, keeps a support system around them. So yeah, that's truly a gift, seeing all sides of a situation. They are very thorough thinkers. So in a company, that can be an incredible asset. In a family, you can just picture a six thinking ahead of like what needs to be packed for a trip. In case of an emergency, what would you need? A six will very like easily run through all those simulations of what could go wrong, and then go and prepare and collect and get all the things in order that's needed in case the worst actually happens. So that gift of foresight, that gift of preparedness is an incredible value to the people around them in their lives. So in health, this is just all the better. Like, yeah, I see how well that could be an asset to teams, to companies, to families, to yeah, all kinds of stuff. Being a parent, looking out for all the things that could go wrong. The negative part of it is whenever fear is leading the ship. If fear is what's meditated on, it does kind of become a self-fulfilling prophecy that like if you meditate on the worst things that could happen, you're kind of attracting it. You're kind of you're putting more belief in that than all of the other options, I guess. So I'm mentioning this in a spectrum because a type six, this is who they are. This is what they're gifted to do. This is what they've gotten accustomed to doing and in a whole life. You know, if you're in your 40s, if you're 50 years old, you've been doing this your whole life. And that's kind of the blessing and the curse of the Enneagram. It's like sometimes your gift, whenever you're in a negative state, can become your curse, but also it's still your gift whenever you're in a healthy place, when you're beginning to believe real truths that set you free, that create rest in your life, that create peace in your life. You still have exercised that gift your whole life, and it's a valuable asset to the world around you. So yeah, getting into the childhood patterns, I am pulling from a lot of my training and my certification with Beth McCord, your Enneagram coach. So yeah, they've got a lot of great resources, and I'm going to share them with you. So childhood patterns, growing up, type 6 children desire guidance, support, and security, but feel the world is a dangerous and unreliable place. To avoid potential harm, chaos, and insecurity, they learn to predict, strategize, and plan what could go wrong. Their inner committee starts at an early age, informing them of every possible outcome to ensure safety and security. These voices bring uncertainty and confusion by creating a high degree of self-doubt in decision making. They seek clear and reliable guidance and advice from authority figures they trust to help them feel safe and secure. Let's see here. Their attention of focus is always on scanning the horizon. I think I've already covered this stuff, y'all. It's a little redundant. But yeah, scanning for worst case scenarios. And then their primary perspective, type 6s believe the world is a dangerous place and that most people have hidden agendas. They constantly predict and plan for all possible outcomes so they can prevent potential harm from occurring. They rehearse in their mind what might happen and develop strategies to stop negative circumstances, believing that they can keep themselves and others safe and secure. Something about hidden agendas. When we look in like the negative, kind of the unhealthy side of type 6, this really begins to show up all the more. So you can just think like trust is a big deal. Can I trust you? is trusting you going to be my downfall? Did I choose to trust the wrong person? They are always watching for this sort of thing. I say always, the spectrums of health. But yeah, they are gifted in reading motives, looking at where somebody's really coming from. They're like, hey, I saw this coming. Yeah, it's a gift of discernment, seeing foresight, seeing what could go wrong. Yeah. So in a good place, this is great to have. In a negative place, it can be everything's a red flag and they don't know who to trust in a negative place. So on to the levels of health. So yeah, at their best, very healthy sixes learn to rely on themselves. They are in touch with their own inner authority and are able to trust themselves without the nagging self-doubt that plagues average sixes. They thus have a positive basis for forming balanced relationships with others and with themselves. They feel secure, accepted, and comfortable with themselves. They let go of the belief that they must rely on someone or something outside of themselves for support. They discover their own inner guidance. They also paradoxically achieve their basic desire to find security and support, particularly in their own inner guidance. They then, sorry, kind of choked. They then become truly secure with themselves, grounded, serene, and valiant. Yeah, really, really beautiful. That's the high side of type 6. Yeah, they have really balanced, healthy relationships, and their mind isn't clouded with fear anymore. So they get to just flow as they are, and really support other people in a very beautiful way. Now, moving on to average, this is whenever the coping strategy is kind of gripping them, the lie that you can't trust yourself. I say the lie, it's their truth, but it's not a truth that sets them free. So it is a lie. But yeah, this is a place where that seems true, and that kicks them into this fear scanning. But yeah, average sixes begin to fear that they will lose their independence, but also believe they need more support. They invest themselves in the people and organizations that they believe will help them, but are uneasy about it. They seek reassurance and guidance in procedures, rules, authorities, and philosophies. Yeah. Something that's said about type sixes, there's like a push and a pull between authority and independence. So they really don't like being dependent on other authorities, and they can kind of rebel and get from under that and then go back under it and get from under it, because it is what's giving them security. But like, you think of a healthy six, that's not how they want to live. That's more of a descent into the fear that's causing them to live that way. So it can be frustrating for a six at this level. Now, moving on to unhealthy. Sixes, they become so insecure and desperate that they begin to believe that others will destroy whatever safety they have. They harbor paranoid fears and delusional ideas about the world. They rant about their obsessive fears and may strike out at real or imagined enemies. Yeah, there's just kind of no peace at this level. I don't know who to trust. I don't know, who's for me, who's against me. And they can start imagining storylines over people and kind of projecting their own fears onto the people around them. Yeah, it's like they don't want to see that in themselves, so they're seeing it all around them. Yeah, that can be a place that a six can find themselves in as this strategy is kind of descending and they're kind of coming to the end of it's kind of not working for them anymore, the coping mechanism. But yeah, so that's the range. In health, I just keep seeing like they're really, really community people. I really want to capture like what is a six at their best. I'm still kind of meditating on it. Because I feel like in presenting all of this, like who the six really is the free six. And I feel like the more clear that becomes, the more a six can step into that. And I'm still exploring, like, what does that look like? But yeah, like a true family person, I believe. Someone who doesn't give up on other people. The word loyalist, I've seen this. I was watching, what series is that? Maze Runner. And Thomas, the main character, is said to be a type 6. And like, that's so clear. You can see in all the different things he's going through, but like how he really doesn't give up on people, and how his relationships is like everything to him, and sticking together, seeing the whole collective. Is everybody okay? Um, yeah, that sense of we are one. So if you can't walk, then I'm gonna carry you. Like, I'm not leaving you. That sort of thing. That's very true to sixes. And that they have a fear of abandonment and being alone, considering how much family or the community matters to them. So being separated from their group will be very painful. But even in health, like, so if you're relying on that for a sense of security, then in health, I just think that value is still there for them. But yeah, so I'm still learning to see that picture a bit more. But yeah, that's what I see as of now. Now let's move on to the subtypes, and then to the wings. So starting out with the self-preservation, they're called warmth, and here's a few other words. So yeah, warmth, affection, or rejection. I don't fully know the rejection word part quite yet, but yeah, I'm going to read. This is from Enneagram Profiling. The self-preservation type 6, they are the most conscious of feeling fear and insecure, or feeling fearful and insecure. They seek security and protection within friendships and alliances with significant others. In order to build such bonds of trust, they repress anger and are sincerely friendly, trustworthy, and supportive. They are the warmest of the subtypes of the sixes. Perceiving the world as an unsupportive place, they seek to have the feeling of being a warm and protective place within the family unit. They can easily become dependent and fearful. Yeah, I just made up those words. They can easily become dependent and fear disappointing others, especially those who are closest to them. These sixes ask many questions of themselves, their partners, and of life in general in their search for dependable truth. They find it harder to answer questions because they see the world in terms of ambiguity. Interesting. It's hard to pick a side on something. You're seeing it all. Yeah. But yeah, this type, I would say, is probably the most true to the stereotype, the archetype of type 6. The self-preservation one kind of matches that the most. And then moving on to the sexual type, they are the counter type. So they're called the counterphobic 6. So they don't show up at all the same, that you could almost not think this type is a 6. It's easy to think a sexual or one-to-one 6 is an 8. So they push against what they fear. They run at it instead of like, out of fight and flight, they are the fight person. So they don't identify with the fear the most. So yeah, the one-to-one 6 is the most counterphobic 6, who assumes a stance of strength and intimidation. Instead of actively feeling fearful, these 6s have an inner belief that when you are afraid, the best defense is a good offense. They have a passion for making themselves strong and for securing a position of independence and strength. These 6s have a forcefulness of nature that comes from not wanting to be weak. They seek to endure and don't connect to their vulnerability. With a cynical lack of trust in human nature, these types like to feel that they can scare people off. With a tendency to be very contrarian, they can be rebellious against authority. They do not trust and always have an argument at hand to refute and contradict an opinion. They seek out concrete and pragmatic ideologies because they feel more truthful and grounded. These types really test out of the Enneagram. They really test out the Enneagram before they work with it. Yeah. So just more antagonistic, unaware of what they fear in a conscious, like, I'm afraid, but they react to what they're afraid of by going straight at it, by dealing with it head on, intimidating it in a sense. So there's still that nature of like seeing what could go wrong and then going straight at the thing that is the problem in a sense, and like squaring off with it. Yeah. So probably I would say the, trusting is all the more hard, I would think, for this type. I think that's true. I feel like they all struggle with that, but this type, in being antagonistic against things, it's just, yeah. Something kind of has to prove that it's trustworthy, through the fight almost. Like it said at the end, these types really test out the Enneagram before they work with it. It's like, it has to be proven to them that it can stand, I guess. And I forgot, the three like keywords for the sexual type is strength and beauty and provocative. So yeah, that strong exterior in the face of what you're fearing, kind of, it's an embellishment, I guess, to deal with it. And then moving on to the social type, their three words is dutiful, fellowship, and social enforcer. So our social type is very much about community. The loyalist in general is very much about community. But looking at how sixes deal with fear, it's by attaching to the beliefs to the group a bit more. So the social type does this the most. And so yeah, this is how it shows up. This is a character that holds tight to ideologies and a particular view of things as a way of feeling safe. This six tends to be a strong advocate for certain values and rules. They strongly adhere to external guidelines as a substitute for an inner sense of confidence. Highly rational and dutiful, they deal with the passion of fear by relying on abstract reason or a specific ideology as an impersonal frame of reference. The social six consults and obeys the guidelines associated with whatever guiding principles, social group, or authority they adhere to. They need to know what the party line is, who the good guys are, and who the bad guys are. Consciously or unconsciously, they fear disapproval and believe in doing the right thing as determined by the rules. The sense of duty becomes a way to structure life, liking clear categories that counter insecurity with being too sure. They can be very idealistic and legalistic, demanding compliance to the collective norms and rules. Yeah. So as you can hear, they find their safety in the law, almost like what the group is saying, what is right, what is wrong, and living by it. It helps them be secure, because it can be hard for them to feel that way apart from that being like established around them. So yeah, that's it for the subtypes. And now onto the wings. So type 6 sits between type 7 and type 5. So types that sit right in the middle of their triad, as you, I guess you could see that 7 and 5 are both in the fear and the thinking triad too. So 6, in whichever one of its wings, it's still fully kind of a head dominant mentality or way of living. So let's start with type 6 with a 5 wing. They are called the defender. And this is kind of mixed energies. You have 6 being outward focused, type 5 being more inward withdrawing. So you have a mix of that in this person. So, in general, they are organized, perceptive, cerebral, withdrawn, and knowledgeable, self controlled, responsible, and serious about ethical and political beliefs. They may be mistyped as a 1. They are outspoken and intense and can look like an 8. And when struggling, they are more suspicious and isolated while watching for potential adversaries. Yeah, I think of type 5 being more withdrawn and analyzing, them both dealing with fear. So this is a more introverted, suspicious type that kind of leads them to like look for danger and then protect people that need to be protected, which is similar to type 8. Yeah, so just talking about the merging of the two energies, type 6 wants to band together with others for security and support, while type 5 looks to detach from others to maintain internal resources. Their inspiring quality is a mindful voice for the underdogs, who will go to great lengths to defend them. So yeah, types 5 and 6, they conflict with each other. Type 6 wants to unify with others for security. Type 5 is wanting to detach. Yeah, to detach into knowledge, into gathering more understanding kind of mix. So, what else to say? Yeah, this is going to be a more researched person, kind of watching out for people, and yeah, more introverted, I would say, in comparison. Type 7, moving on to the type 6 with the 7, they're called the buddy, and it has the 7 energy of being kind of avoidant and wanting to stay in happy things, not wanting to deal with darker emotions. So the anxiety causing them to kind of run, in a sense, to run away from what they fear mixed in there. But yeah, a much more social, engaging type of 6. So in general, they're engaging, supportive, witty, friendly, and likable, looking to team up with others for extra support and security. When struggling, they are more anxious and hardworking, yet procrastinates out of fear. They can be more reactive when experiencing anxiety and internal pressure to make decisions quickly. So yeah, they blend well together. They both are extroverted types, type 6 and 7. They're highly sociable, enjoy having a good time with trusted and committed friends, and like making new connections to ensure security and fun times together. Interesting. Yeah, just a more networking person, seeing the value in knowing other people to enhance their experiences, finding security in community. A bit more thinking of the other one is more finding security in the self, in their own understanding, in research, in knowledge. This is has a total different energy in how they achieve security. So, their inspiring quality is a very thoughtful, warm, and engaging friend who constantly looks out for problems and wants to have loads of fun as well with you. So yeah, they blend together well. This is an extroverted, oriented person. Yeah, something else. They read the reactions of others to assess where they stand with them. Many friends and mentors provide them with security and support and guidance. They seek enjoyment in life, even with anxiety in the background. Yeah, so a fun presence, looking to create more connections with people, check in with where they are with people. Um, yeah, as I kind of am thinking through this, it reminds me of a type 2 a little bit. This type of energy, like 2 and 7, how the 6 can kind of have those qualities as well. Let's see, buddies can be more reactive than defenders when experiencing pressure to make a decision quickly. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that is it for type 6. I hope you've gotten value out of this. It's kind of a lot of information, but yeah, hopefully this has brought some clarity to you and what your type is, or you can discern the types of others in your life, help you to be more understanding or to love yourself more, to kind of see a path to what health looks like for type 6. So, yeah, there's a lot of variations that make us who we are, and growth for every type of person is different. So, I hope this has brought some clarity to you on what it looks like for the type 6. If you like coaching or typing help with determining what your type is, I offer life coaching, Enneagram coaching, and personality typing on my website, typologycorner.com. You can book a free consultation with me just to talk things out and kind of get a feel for what you would like to do. So, yeah, guys, that is something that's available to you. And I'll keep rolling out more videos on all of the types here on the channel. And yeah, if you got can't talk. If you got value out of this, go and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate your feedback and knowing that the video made a difference in your life in some way. Leave a comment below if there's some area that you would like clarified or something you have a question about. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk with you there as well. But yeah, guys, thank you again for watching, and I will see y'all on the next one. Take care.